Hey there.
Hello, everyone. Hey, everyone. I'm Neil, co-founder and CEO of Frontrunner, the decentralized sports prediction market. Now, the story of Frontrunner starts a few years ago when I placed a bet on the San Francisco 49ers to win the Super Bowl before the season started. I thought they were undervalued, and as it turns out, this was the year that they actually made the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, despite being a relative underdog. It was a great bet, and I was so excited. But I noticed that through traditional betting platforms, despite being 95% right on my original bet, there was a good chance I'd be left with nothing. Either the 49ers would win that last game and I'd win a bunch of money, or they'd lose and I'd be left with nothing. My only options to guarantee value would have been to put a bunch of additional capital into the platform to hedge by betting on the other side, or to sell my bet directly back to the sportsbook at about 60 to 70% of its value at that time. Now, as someone who was already a retail trader at the time, it got me thinking, why is this the way that sports betting is? Sportsbooks control what you can bet on, when you can bet on it, and how much you're allowed to bet for any given bet. All this leads to issues like a general lack of liquidity. Bets on traditional sports betting platforms are generally not liquid, and they never give you a fair price. And this makes sense. Sportsbooks have no reason to incentivize users to maximize their value. They'd lose more money. Separate from that, even if you are a successful bettor, the biggest sportsbooks punish successful users with betting limits and bans, again, to prevent any given user from making too much money. And then finally, bad UI and bad UX plagues traditional sports betting products. The interfaces you see basically have not changed at all since the invention of online sports betting 15, 20, 30 years ago. And so what we're really looking to do is to kind of update these outdated interfaces and simplify all these complicated odds and terminology into something that a modern sports fan can really understand. So to talk about how we got to what we're building at Frontrunner, I want to talk a little bit about the steps that got us there. So what we really wanted to do here was combine the betting and kind of skin in the game mentality from sports betting and get some of the efficiency from traditional exchange trading. Think crypto exchanges, retail trading platforms, really combine those two concepts together to create exchange betting. You've already seen products like Kalshi, Predicted, and Betfair create something in the space to relative success. Now, our insight on top of this was that we wanted to take this exchange betting format and combine it with a lot of the recent technological advances afforded from decentralized exchanges and DeFi to ultimately create a fully transparent, much more efficient, much more trustless system of sports betting in a much more modern realm. So let's talk about what we're building here at Frontrunner. At Frontrunner, we're building a decentralized prediction market built for the modern sports fan. It's a platform where users can easily buy and sell shares of their favorite teams and players through a simple Robinhood-style interface. It's a platform where users can also easily track their performance over time and visualize the differences in odds as things change over a game or a season or beyond. And then finally, the ultimate goal of what we're building here at Frontrunner is to allow users and sports fans to succeed based on their knowledge and skill and not fail just because the system was out to get them from the beginning. So let's dive into a little bit of the product here. The way that you use Frontrunner is like any other retail trading app. You start by exploring the markets to find the ones that matter most to you. In this example, we have a market for the Falcons versus the Saints in an NFL game. And the way that shares work on our platform is that shares of correct outcomes pay out $1 and shares of incorrect outcomes pay out nothing. So share prices on our platform fluctuate between 0 cents and 100 cents, depending on how likely the market views a given outcome is to happen. In this example here, the Atlanta Falcons are priced at 63 cents, which would imply that the market believes there's about a 63% chance that they will indeed beat the Saints in this game. Now, once you've found a market you're interested in, placing a bet is as simple as buying and selling positions like you would on any other stock market app. You can place limit orders, market orders, and more that we're still implementing to really make sure that you can place exactly the bet you want and understand exactly what value you're going to get, win or lose. Finally, once you have your shares already in your portfolio, it's as simple as tracking the markets as they develop, buying low, selling high, selling depending on what your opinions change. The point of our markets here is that they're always live, which creates constantly actionable and monetizable moments for all of our users. Rather than placing a bet and waiting, users on our platform can monitor the prices and make moves as things change second to second if they want to. Along with our general platform, we're really looking to achieve democratization through decentralization. First and foremost, by building our markets on a system of smart contracts, we have fully transparent markets and have higher liquidity pools than previously possible. Our markets are fully public and it gives full visibility into trading history and market history for every single market at all times. On top of this, we're looking to reduce counterparty risk by not forcing users to deposit on our platform. Rather than making a deposit, waiting for it to hit, and then needing to withdraw from the platform once a bet is settled, on our platform, users can plug in their wallet and start trading in the markets as fast as they want. As soon as the market is resolved, their capital is theirs to take away. Ultimately, we want users to have control of their capital at all times as well. And then looking forward to the long-term vision, we really are excited at the idea of community governance. We want users to be able to vote on what markets we offer, what odds we really need to add more liquidity to, and we ultimately think this leads to higher engagement and increased interest and adoption in our platform. Now, speaking of decentralization, the chain we've chosen to build on is Injective Protocol. And when we were looking for a protocol to build on, about a year ago, the first and foremost thing we were really looking for was native central limit order book support. Now, we've seen other decentralized prediction markets use automated market makers to mixed results, but ultimately what we found is that AMMs just currently in their current state are not capital efficient for providing liquidity for binary options contracts, or it's said another way, contracts that have a fixed outcome at some point. The impermanent loss you feel through general AMMs is felt permanently very quickly when a market ultimately resolves in a binary options format. The other benefits of Injective Protocol that we really love are their zero gas fees for any kind of trade, and their much higher transaction throughput. They're a chain that natively supports central limit order books, which is a key feature of ours. And being part of the Cosmos ecosystem gives us so much potential in the future to build new novel formats on top of existing financial natives or primitives. Now, looking a little bit forward in terms of the product, I already mentioned some of the exciting kind of potential financial derivatives we can build, but more specifically, things like futures and even perpetuals and swaps are things we're really looking to experiment with, to really fuse the worlds of traditional finance and what sports betting is becoming more and more. There's also things like ETFs, which we think could be very compelling to a variety of sports fans. Whether you want to invest in your city, a league, or an ownership group, there's more ways and more creative ways than ever for people to express their fandom exactly how they want to, with as few friction as possible. On top of this, we're ultimately really building this platform for the next generation and current generation of sports fans and sports bettors. Social features and gamification have already been listed in studies as the two most compelling features that keeps users interested of this generation into sports betting products like ours. We love the idea of allowing users to create hedge funds, so to speak, with their friends, pull their capital together, and compete against other funds or the market as a whole. On top of this, we also are really interested in adding gamified rewards for the top traders of a given sport or a given time period, and allow them to earn NFTs and badges to really show off their expertise and also create natural rivalries among those who think they're better than them. And then finally, we really think that public profiles are a great way to allow users to show off just how strong they are in a given betting market. We want people to be able to build followings and build brands for themselves within our platform as they become more and more successful bettors. Now, in terms of monetization, as basically a decentralized exchange, the first way that we plan on monetizing the product is through transaction fees. Basically taking a small cut of every trade on our platform, whether you're buying or selling shares. We also think that there's some opportunity for monetization of DeFi offerings within the platform, whether it could be things like collecting fees and interest on leveraged positions, peer-to-peer lending, or more. And then finally, as I mentioned earlier, we do plan on releasing a proprietary utility token at some point, but this will be sometime after our mainnet launch. Our goal here is to make sure that we have a product worth supporting with a token first, and then we'll figure out the token economics and the utility of the token later to really make sure we're providing sustainable value with our token if and when it launches. Now, in terms of what we're targeting here, the initial set of consumers we're really targeting with our product are existing sports bettors, traders, and crypto enthusiasts. Now, there's a lot of overlap between these groups already, and actually 72% of sports bettors have been shown to already be familiar with cryptocurrency. These are the people that are already, when they kind of see our product and see what we're doing, are really excited and get what we're doing right away. Once we've kind of penetrated those markets, we want to be a little bit more expansive in terms of general retail traders and sports fans. Think the generation of sports fans that have grown up seeing Robinhood and Titan and Public and all these kind of trading apps that are now looking for more efficient and more compelling ways to express their capital rather than just sports betting. And then in the long term, we're really interested in having businesses and institutions use our platform more like a traditional trading platform. Whether a trading firm wants to use sports betting as an alternative market class separated from traditional market risk, or if sports-specific industry affiliates want to use our platform to hedge risk against a team making the playoffs or a team winning the championship, all of those things are very interesting for us moving forward. Now, in terms of our roadmap, we've spent most of this year thus far building out the initial product and launching our testnet product. So our testnet launched a few weeks ago, and we've already had some great initial feedback. I'll get to that in a second. Right now, we're also in the experimentation phase, trying to learn as much as possible from our users in terms of what sports are most compelling, what types of markets are most compelling, what types of financial instruments might be new and exciting for our users to trade in that they've never had an opportunity before. For example, one of the pieces of feedback we've gotten so far is that on our platform, not only can you buy shares in favor of an outcome, but you can actually bet against an outcome or effectively short a player or team. This type of thing is new and novel, and it would be impossible through standard sports betting practices, since you can't effectively bet on every other team in a given market without paying all the fees and losing money guaranteed. Looking a little bit forward, we are looking also to launch our mobile product in Q1 of next year, and we're in the process of securing some offshore gaming licenses that will allow us to launch on mainnet and start operating as the actual sportsbook, with the mainnet launch scheduled for Q2 next year. So speaking of our testnet, we've been running for a few weeks, and our early results have been very promising. We've already reached 707 total unique users with no marketing spend. And what we're really particularly excited about so far is our engagement metrics. The average session length on our platform is about 35 minutes right now, compared to something like 11 and a half of a traditional sportsbook like DraftKings. And to us, this makes a lot of sense. On a traditional sports betting app, what users typically do is they'll open up the app, find the game they want to bet on, place the bet, and put their phone down and watch the game. But on our platform, what users are doing is they're buying shares of a team or player and then keeping the app open as the price ticks up and down over the course of a game in a season. It leads to a much more compelling overall experience because, again, our markets are always live and users at any time until a result is determined can trade in and out as their opinions change. The final metric along with this as well is that of our daily active users, they typically place about 39 orders, which is really great to see users constantly trading in and out of their positions over the course of a game. Now, in terms of the team behind Frontrunner, we're a team of 4 co-founders. We've been friends for over a decade, and we all met at the engineering school at the University of Pennsylvania. We're all technical co-founders with experience spanning small startups to large enterprise institutions and industries spanning sports, Web3, and financial institutions. We'd also love to give a shout out to our advisor, Eric Chuvin, who's the current head of ecosystem at Dapper Labs, former head of product at Augur, and formerly senior director of operations at TradeSports, for all of his expertise he's been offering us across building our product and really locking down our pitch and our marketing kind of plan. We're also very excited to share today that we also have a great team of investors already behind us. We've raised just under $5 million thus far. And so if you or anyone you know is interested in learning more about Frontrunner or joining the Frontrunner team, we encourage you to reach out and have a conversation. Thank you.
Okay, let's see if anyone has any questions for Neil. Let's wait just a minute or two, and then we'll be able to move on. Okay, I'm not seeing anything yet come through, but if any questions come through, I guess one question is the testnet still open?
Yes, the testnet is currently open. We're in the process of revamping our contest structure, but if you go to app.getfrontrunner.com, you can make an account and start playing with it now. We're currently covering NFL markets, Premier League markets, and MLB playoff markets with the plan to add NBA and other sports and esports soon.
Next question is why the Cosmos chain?
Yeah, so one of the things that we really wanted to think about from day one, so me and my co-founders have been kind of in the crypto space since 2016, 2017, around that time. And we've seen the rise and fall of a lot of chains. We did the evaluation of things like Solana, Avalanche, Polygon along the time. But what we were really interested in was more of a multi-chain long-term vision. We didn't want to lock ourselves to a chain which would be difficult to move off of. And we really love the kind of, inter-blockchain connectivity of Cosmos and the whole thesis behind there. And so that combined with the fact that Cosmos had the most chains with central limit order books by default as part of the protocol, it made it kind of a no-brainer for us to go into the Cosmos ecosystem, which we think is rapidly on the rise right now.
And the last question is, where are you seeking licensure to start?
Yes, so currently the 2 locations that we're in the licensing process of are the Isle of Man and Curacao, and that gives us jurisdiction to start operating in a variety of locations around the world, not like the US, for example, but we're hoping to use these initial licenses as a springboard to prove product market fit, get some early user data, and then expand to the larger, more potentially attractive countries post our initial launch.
Okay, I think that's all the questions we have. Thank you, Neil, for your presentation.